On this week's Bet the Process podcast, Rufus and I do not have on the sports law professor, Gabe Feldman, but we hopefully will have him on next week. This episode is sponsored by Novig, and if you want to go check it out, we do talk a lot about some of its prediction markets. If you want to bet futures on any of the teams we talk about, they're the best place to do it. So go there and use the promo code BTP and you'll get a bonus. But we do talk a lot about college football, and Rufus reveals at the end that it's unintelligible, backed by no data. So spoiler alert, if you don't want to listen, you don't need to. You can just fast forward to the end and get the Bet the Process college football heater picks. So with that, let's start the process. Welcome to another episode of the Bet the Process podcast, where Rufus is in Vegas. I am in Scottsdale, Scott Vegas, as they say. Rufus, how is it to be back in Las Vegas?
Oh, it's good. It's good. It's been an interesting weather week. It's been like rainy and cloudy, and there's been like beautiful sunsets, and I kind of like it when Vegas is that way. But
How
I've
long
just
are you
been
gonna be in
grinding.
Vegas for? Are there any things you're going to do in Vegas while you're there?
I've already done things. I have a friend that was in town. He had some free play, and so I've had dinners with him like the last 3 nights.
Where'd you go to dinner? Anywhere good?
It was at Fontainebleau. Yeah, like Mother Wolf last night. I think the night before was I think it was called Ito.
Oh yeah, Ito's
Yeah,
great.
yeah. Ito's
On the
amazing.
top there,
Yeah,
I went there. Shane took me to dinner there, Sigsby, and
yeah. I was.
we just ate like so much, and then he revisited it all for us. I think he spent like $1,000 on me on dinner that night.
It's really good omakase, and the view is
Dude,
like unmatched.
it's so good, and it's like cool clandestine to get up there.
It's like a club,
Yeah,
a
if any of
poodle
you
club.
guys, it's called Ito, and it's on the top of the Fountain Blue. The original one is in New York, I believe. So you can go to the one in New York because you
I
spend
can.
time there. You do not live there, but you spend time there.
Did you do the sake pairing?
Probably. Yeah, it sounds like something I would have done. Sounds like something Shane and I would have done.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I've just been, the mold is being remediated back in New York,
Oh
which is
my
good.
God.
I'm heading back east. I'm going to the Yale Harvard game on Saturday, and then I'm gonna head to DC to help my parents out for Thanksgiving preparations because we always host something a big Thanksgiving dinner.
Got it. How is your betting world going? The sports betting world.
We followed up our best week ever 2 weeks ago with our second best week ever last week.
Wow.
So it's been going quite well.
And that's mostly college basketball or college football too?
It's honestly, I mean, last week college football was the primary driver. The week before it was all college basketball basically. But last week was good. I mean, we had
You were
golf
3-0 on your Bet the
contributed.
Process heaters.
Yeah, college football sides have been going very, very well this year. Totals not so much, but sides, and then like just all the extra volume I can get with like with leans and like sort of opinionated market making with Kalshi has been really nice too.
What about Novig, our sponsors? You betting stuff there, or are you still down on
I
those?
can't from Nevada. That's the problem.
Oh,
But
we're gonna have a sports law professor on, Gabe Feldman, ideally. If that interview doesn't happen, this could be an awkward, but some of the things I think we would talk about are, around this whole prediction markets and legality and whatnot. Also, did you see this the college thing where college students, athletes are now allowed to bet on sports? They just can't
no.
bet on college sports. They can bet on
Okay.
pro sports.
You know what's funny, Jeff, is that I was a college athlete. I know that's not the joke though. The joke,
It's kind of a joke. Is sailing really, does that count you as an athlete?
it's a Division 1 sport at Yale. So like it's a varsity sport. And so
Do you think that,
we were not allowed to, we had to like sign things, and they did this like gambling workshop with us and stuff like that. Cause it was a very serious thing that, we're not allowed to bet on sports, any sports. And then I had to somehow go to Las Vegas for a summer internship. And, I wasn't betting though. I was just trading.
the NCAA now permits college athletes to bet on professional sports as of November 1st, 2025, through a ban on betting on college, though a ban on betting on college sports and sharing information about college competitions remain in place. The change, which also applies to athletics department staff, was approved by all three NCAA divisions. This rule change requires athletes to bet responsibly and follow harm reduction strategies while also forbidding any betting related scholarships at NCAA championships.
How do you,
Sponsorships, sorry, any betting related sponsorships. I was like, what's a betting related scholarship?
damn.
Oh man, why? I mean, we got to ask why the F are they doing this? Like, is this why? Why?
I mean, my guess is it was just too hard to police. I don't know. Maybe it was one of these things that people were doing it and it was just going to be too much of an issue. But
Yeah. We
because
can ask why we can ask this our friend Gabe Feldman that may or may not be on this podcast why. And by the way, for the record, my hand was in front of my mouth and it did muffle the sound last week. So
thank you. Thank you.
I'm
You were so certain that it wasn't.
I was certain, and you know what? I was certainly wrong. So there we go. I
I
can admit when
appreciate
I'm
that.
wrong. Yeah. Anyways, so and then yeah, obviously we'll talk more about that kind of stuff with the
I
law
mean, that can't
professor.
be good though. I don't think. I
I
feel like
mean,
you're
it's
opening Pandora's
happening
box, but I mean,
already,
it's already
right?
open.
Well, we tried to have on Sam Schwartzstein, I guess, who is the person who does the alternate, the Amazon alternate stream, the analytics stream, and he seems like a very sharp, interesting guy. So I was like super excited. He was, I think, the one that was kind of orchestrated the new kickoff. And that was like his thing. And I think he would have been really interesting. This was Diggs' suggestion in his way of being the puppeteer behind the scenes, making all the calls on Bet the Process. But they didn't want to have us. He wasn't allowed to come on because we're a gambling podcast. The hypocrisy of these leagues is just incredible
It's
to me.
kind of, yeah.
Right. And again, like I don't um I wonder, if you go back to this whole, we talked a little bit last week. Was it last week that we talked about the baseball stuff? Yeah, we talked about it last week. Any new opinions on that or still feel the same way?
Um, on which thing?
The baseball pitchers, the Emmanuel
I
Clase.
mean, my opinions on micro betting are the same. And I still think that, I mean, it should be a lifetime ban. I think like you really have to do everything to uphold the integrity, or at least the image of it, integrity of your sport.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering when you're gonna have Diggs on so I can like, watch you stroke his ego in person.
That sounds very sexual, and I don't think you're going to watch me stroke anything in person. Okay, so back to college football. How do you feel about the latest? Have you looked at the college football playoff poll?
I'm gonna be honest, I haven't, Jeff. It has been a very, very busy time around here.
Okay,
We
well,
have we have we have college
let's go
football,
through
we have
it.
college basketball, we have NFL, we have building market making stuff,
Okay,
and
then
I'm
let's
and I'm
play.
and
Let's
I'm
play a
trading a new
game.
trader, which is
Let's
like in person, which is you know I think it's going to be good long term, but it's quite exhausting.
Are you guys doing a lot of trading on your own?
I guess it depends on how you define trading, but yeah,
Got it.
I mean we are the answer to like, are we doing a lot of trading on our own? Yes. Are other people doing a lot of trading for us? Yes. It's basically always yes.
Got it.
All of the above.
Okay. So the top 25 by the selection committee, do you want to guess what they were in college football?
Ohio State,
One, yes.
Indiana,
Yes.
um, Texas A&M.
Yes.
Is there another undefeated team?
Nope.
Who would be after that then?
They had a really big win last week.
Georgia.
Yes. And then five is interesting. Who do you think five is?
It's going to be another Big Ten school. No, who we got there? Who's five?
Who's my team? Texas Tech.
Ah, Texas Tech.
And then
Red Raiders.
six is Ole Miss, your anti-team.
Hmm.
Seven is Oregon.
By the way, my anti-team Florida, like that line moved from, I mean, we bet it at 17 and 16 and a half and it closed at 11.
I know we released it at 8:15. It closed at 10 and a half. I saw it at 10 and a half when I was like futzing around before the game.
And that was, I mean, they had a chance to win that game.
We moved a lot of stuff, which is hard because then when we set the bet the when send the bet the process heater videos out, the lines have already moved. So we're basically like post, what do you call it? Post posting, pass posting,
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
it's troublesome.
It is troublesome. Um, it's interesting, right? Because the top ACC team is
Sucks.
Miami, and they can't go, right? Because they're going to have to win the ACC to go, and they're not going to be in the ACC championship, I don't think.
Are they not? I haven't looked at the
They have
standings.
two losses, and there's just a bunch of teams with one
Two
loss.
conference losses.
Yeah, yeah.
And I mean, we have 2 more weeks left, right? This week and next.
I mean, maybe I just don't understand how this works because, like, it doesn't seem to me like they're going to go.
Well, whoever wins is going to have to, if it's not Miami, is going to have to win out, and then they're going to have to, win the conference championship. And so I would think they would improve. And it's not like Miami is just so much better. It's not like the resume
Yeah,
is so
I'm going
much
to
better,
ask
is it?
Chad. Yes, it is possible for Miami to make the college football players' path is difficult and requires a combination of winning out and getting help from other teams. The two main routes are winning the ACC championship for an automatic bid or securing. But what Miami needs to happen, winning its two games is crucial, hoping to, according to the debut, other teams to lose needs several other teams ahead of it to lose games for a clear path
This
for
is
now.
ChatGPT.
Yes. It's the
Excellent
answer to
content.
my prayers.
Do
Okay,
you,
good.
Another college football topic is Arch Manning the quarterback of Texas next year?
Yes. What do you think?
I don't know. It's
Did you watch the Georgia
people are so
game?
impatient. I did not watch. Yeah,
It was an
too busy
interesting
betting.
game. Obviously, like I'm a well-known Georgia fan. Maybe not true, but I am a Georgia fan.
Your money
And
is a Georgia fan every year.
what's that?
Your money is a Georgia fan every
I
year.
know I have. Can I tell you my futures setup? I have
Yeah.
futures on two, three, four, five, and six.
I bet one future this year and it was Indiana. That's all
Yeah.
I got.
But like that's not bad. And honestly, like I don't think Ohio State is that good, or at least we don't know how good they are, right? They've
Why do we
only
not
got
know?
one. What's that?
Why is that?
Have you looked at their schedule?
They haven't played a lot of hard teams,
Right. We don't know how good the only hard team they played is Texas, and they beat.
which isn't actually as good as we thought.
Well, it's hard to
Well,
say, like,
initially.
because when I was watching that Texas game, I was watching with a buddy, and with I was watching with our friend Jan, and Jan and I
Yeah.
were basically, he was saying, and there was a point in that Texas game where they looked like they were actually playing pretty competitively with Georgia, and Georgia just kind of ran away with it at the end. Kirby Smart did a surprise onside kick, which was pretty awesome. And surprise onside kicks, do you know what they get? What they get?
What the recovery rate is?
Yeah.
Pretty high.
What would you
40%. I
guess?
don't know.
No, it's like 75%.
Teams should do that more often, clearly.
But then they wouldn't be surprises anymore.
Right.
It's the
It's
problem.
true.
To
It's a
really do
good
a surprise
strategy.
onside kick, you
But
can't.
I think if the recovery rate is 70%, and I don't know what the sample size is there, but you would think that that means they're underutilizing it.
They are probably underutilizing, but isn't it kind of classic like loss aversion?
Yeah.
Like you're
It's
doing
like,
something very unconventional, so that 25% of the chance that it does, 25% of the time that it doesn't work, you're like lambasted for it.
yep.
How often are surprise onside kicks?
Man, it is interesting how like Ohio State has just drawn a very easy schedule this year within the Big Ten.
Yeah.
They played like nobody, you're right. I mean, none of the like it's a solid
It's a
league.
really, it is really like we have no idea how good they are.
Like I believe so far their toughest conference opponent was Illinois. Is that right? They had
Yeah.
Illinois, UCLA, Penn State, which Penn State's way better than a 4-16, but still, Wisconsin, Purdue.
Oh, here he says some believe the success rate for surprise onside kicks was as high as 60 to 70% in the past, though this is highly speculative and likely an exaggeration. So I am an exaggerator, I guess. I remember we ran this data set probably like 20 years ago, 15 years ago, something like that. And I remember 75% sticking out as a number that I thought was true. So my reality can just be my reality. So any thoughts on the NFL, Rufus?
Well, the best team in football lost last week,
The best.
and Sam Darnold threw 4 interceptions.
Oh, Seattle.
Does this not feel like the end of last year? I mean, I don't know. Like he had that game, the Vikings game to close the season, and then obviously the playoff game against the same Rams he lost to last week. And I wonder if, I don't want to say it's momentum, but it's like he has a really bad game and it shakes his confidence. I think we'll find out.
I don't know if we'll find out this week. They're playing the
Well,
Titans, 13.5 point favorites.
I mean, I think you can still find out if he plays poorly, but I
Do you
don't
think that,
anticipate them
what do
getting
you,
the same pass rush.
do you bet it? Are you betting any NFL right now?
I actually bet not much. Like I'm seeding some markets. I'm like seeding some prop markets, and when I have a strong opinion, I'm like, if I can get essentially a vig free price, and this is what like no vig is great for, because I can basically on an NFL game be betting at like less than a 0.3% hold. So, and despite that, betting into those holds this year, I think I'm down 20% on NFL. And
I've been like,
maybe not 20% anymore, but it was that a few weeks ago. It's not a lot of games and too many games betting on the Dolphins.
I was on an NFL heater for a while, and then last week the heater came to an end with some tough last minute variants.
Do
But
you think that the Seahawks are a top team?
yeah, I do.
You've joined
I've
the
come around. I mean, I think the NFL has a lot of parity this year.
it does.
I think the Eagles, the Rams, the Seahawks are all viable NFC contenders. And then like I'm not even talking about the Lions, who obviously, if they're healthy, one would put in that category, I would guess. And then in the AFC, you just have this weird situation where you're going to have like the Chiefs and the Bills and the Ravens potentially all playing like road playoff games. And you're going to have like the Indianapolis Colts and the Patriots of the world with like home field. It's pretty crazy.
It is.
Guess like
I feel
on
like
Get Up, they were saying that they were saying that the Colts would be favored over the Chiefs, and they should be favored. And everyone and all the like pundits are like, I mean, all the gambling Twitters like, this is why these traditional media people shouldn't be talking about betting.
yeah,
What do
no,
you make? What
I
would you
agree.
make?
I
What?
actually have my ratings done. I got them done for the
What do you make the Chiefs and Colts line
on a
if
neutral
in
field. I'd make
they're
it.
not on a neutral field because
I
they're
know,
not
but
going to play on a
I don't
neutral
know
field.
what the home field would be for this. I'd have to plug that in for the specific circumstances.
Let's just say
Uh,
like let's say like 1.5 home field.
a little more than that, but okay. I mean,
Two. Let's say
but
two.
on okay neutral, I make it Chiefs minus a little over 2.5. So I
It'll
still have a
probably
fairly
it'll
close
it'll
pick.
probably you'll have the Chiefs at even roughly.
And I have the Chiefs rated the third best team in football too. So it's not like I'm really low on them.
Who
Like
are the top two teams?
Seattle and the Rams.
Wow.
We just witnessed like what should have been the Super Bowl last
So
week.
you don't have the where do you have the Eagle? Are the Eagles not
They're
are they
four.
in your model
They're
again?
four.
They're four.
Seattle, Rams, Chiefs, Eagles,
You
Bills.
have the Chiefs as the top AFC team still, huh?
The Chiefs last year like won. They had some ridiculous record in one score games. Wasn't it like 12-1? Like I don't think that's what the record actually was, but it was like over 90%. They played a ton of close games and won them all basically. This year I think they're 0-5 in one score games.
They're 10-1 to win the Super Bowl.
They got to make the playoffs first.
Is it time to put some Chiefs positions on?
I mean, I'm pretty high in the Ravens too. I think the Ravens are they're interesting to me because they, playing without Lamar, they were garbage basically, and their defense was garbage too. But they're
They're 10-1 also.
I
I mean, someone's got to make from the AFC. You think it's not going to be the Colts, right? Their Colts are 11-1.
mean, I think the most people would say the Bills are the top team.
Their defense is not good. Their defense just got shredded.
No, you're right. They're the only team in the top eight that has
I
a
mean,
defense
how can
below
the
average in nine
Bills,
yards.
does the AFC just kind of suck this year?
Yeah, I mean, you look at the top teams. I mean, most of them are like the NFC is just so much deeper. I have like out of my top 10, I think I have three AFC teams: Kansas City, Buffalo, Baltimore.
Bills are the shortest.
Denver is 11.
Bills are the shortest favorites to win the AFC. And then it's the Ravens, then the Chiefs, then the Colts, then the Patriots, or sorry, then the Broncos and Patriots basically even.
I have the Patriots only as the number 17 team. They're slightly better than average, but still number
Do you
17.
watch Drake May play though? He's
He's
fucking
playing
good.
pretty well.
He's good. I mean, he has like those Mahomesian moments. Like he had a Mahomesian moment like this last game. I know that's probably sacrilege to all you guys out there. I can cash out my Indiana future at for $3,700 right now.
How much did you bet?
I bet to win $40,000.
How much did you risk?
1,292.
Okay.
31 to 1 roughly.
I'm guessing you're gonna let it ride though.
Yes, I'm gonna let it ride. I have Ole Miss at 46 to 1. I have some Texas Tech at 86 to 1.
That looks good.
Yeah. And then let me see what my
I mean,
A&M is.
just like in the NFL, there isn't a dominant team in college football this year, really.
A&M is 36 to 1. But like I put these positions on because Bill Connolly basically said on that first podcast, like all of these, there's not much separation. So I basically took all of like the 5
I
through
remember
12
this.
and spread some money out on there. And I put some Georgia on. The Georgia that I have is like 8-ish to 1. Let's see what Georgia is right now.
Wait, can we go back to A&M real quick? Did you watch any of that game?
Did I watch? I did not really watch. I kind of watched the score. I was being a good dad and I was taking my kids to Dave and Buster's. So we were at Dave and Buster's.
Well, I had 250,000 contracts on South Carolina at 9 cents.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, it would have been an even bigger week had that won.
That would have been, you would have,
But
would you have won $250,000?
$250,000 minus, well, that's how big the swing is. So it was like essentially like basically 25,000 to win
Was
225.
was that on a prediction market like Novig?
It was on a prediction market. Yeah.
Like Novig, which is a prediction
Exactly.
market that sponsors this podcast. So in case you didn't know that out there. Georgia's still 10 to 1. I feel like Georgia at 10 to 1 is actually, maybe I'm an idiot, but like I think that's actually reasonable value
I don't know, I
because
feel like in previous years, Jeff, I would have like some real opinions on here and I would have gone through these scenarios and done the
yeah.
simulations and stuff, but it's just, I have not this year. It feels like because of prediction markets like Novig, there's been a lot of new work coming my way.
So how about this for a analysis? So Georgia is 10 to 1. And okay, Ohio State is plus 181, so less than 2 to 1. And I know you can't bet no on,
Ohio State is less than 2 to 1 to win the national title.
yeah.
That's
Isn't that
right. That
crazy?
does seem ridiculous, just especially as you said, given they haven't played
So
like I mean,
wouldn't
they
that
are by far the
intimate
best team in my ratings, but
wouldn't that intimate to you, Rufus, that wouldn't that intimate to you that there is like value on some of the other people?
yeah, I mean,
So
well, it says that basically because Ohio State's going to have to win 3 games to win the national title, right?
yes.
The
No,
first
3 games, yes.
in the playoff. The first game is going to be against a weaker team, probably, but we don't know that necessarily because of the seedings and it could be. I mean, but
Well, they don't, the seedings are not as weird as they were before now, right? They're not
right,
as
right. So
janky.
because before you kind of get, you end up having like Alabama is like the lowest or something, right? I think that's what it was.
Yeah, I mean the brackets now are would be that like because Tulane is in like they're like the non they're the top non FBS whatever non Group of Five or Power Five or whatever it is Power Four team that they say would make the playoffs right now.
Okay, wait, plus 181 though. So like if Ohio State, if you thought they had a 70% chance to win each of their three college football playoff games, that comes out to 34.3%, which is pretty damn close, right?
But don't you
Do
think
you
that's
think
just
that
like a
they are
lot of
70? Do you think that they would be an average of 70% to win?
what is that point spread roughly?
I can that would be roughly like six-ish, six and a half to seven, I think. I should know this better.
I mean, I don't think they're going to be. They be a 6.5 or 7 point favorite against Indiana? Would they be a six
No,
and a half? Would they be a 6.5 or 7 point favorite
but
over Georgia or Texas A&M?
I can tell you in a second. Got getting lost in spreadsheets here. Would they be okay? So I'd have them as a roughly a 3 point favorite over Indiana. Against Georgia, they would be a 6 point favorite. Against A&M, they would be a 6 point favorite.
So maybe it's not that
Against
far off.
Oregon, they'd be a 7 point favorite. Against Notre Dame, they'd only be a 4.5 point favorite.
So maybe not far that far off, right?
Yeah, maybe not. Texas Tech, they'd be, yeah, but all these teams, they'd basically be, I mean, they'd be like a 8.5 point favorite against Texas Tech, basically, and they'd
So
be
in their
double digit.
first game, they're likely to be like a 10 point, a double digit favorite.
Yes, but if you think about the team that well, that's going to be a team coming off a big win, probably. I don't know if it'll be a big win, but they win, they're suddenly probably a better team than we thought they were. Whoever advances to play them. So
Maybe, maybe not. Because there's a chance that they're going to play like again, like the Tulane of the world that gets in as the 12, right? They're a good team is going to play, the 5 seed. Well, so sorry. Because they'll be the number 1 seed. So the 8 seed will probably
we're,
play the 12 seed, right? Is that how it would
we're
work?
saying they'll be the number one seed, but they still have to actually play those games. And if they lose the Big Ten, are they still the number one seed? No,
If they lose, no, of course not.
right.
Indiana will be the number 1 seed, which would be
They still have to be,
great.
and they still have a game against Michigan. I mean, the game against Rutgers this week doesn't count, but the game against Michigan. So,
Right.
but
Well, my point, my point to you,
there's no way. I mean, they are in. But let's say in a weird world that they blow out Rutgers or beat Rutgers somehow, and they lose to Michigan, and then they lose the Big Ten title. They still in the playoff. If you look at them, then like yes, they've been a dominant team, but they have a marquee win against Texas, quote marquee, and that's kind of it.
if they lose their last 2 games, meaning like the Big Ten championship and to Michigan, I still
Yes,
think that they're in.
just because of how dominant they were, even though they played crap
I
teams.
just don't, I don't, I mean, there's a lot of mediocrity below them. You know,
Yeah,
you have Indiana obviously, and you have A&M. I mean, I think again, lots, but like there's a lot of, they'll make it in over a 3-loss Texas that they beat, right?
yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, they would definitely make it in over. I think over any three-loss team.
Yeah. So there's not that many 2-loss teams that would compete with them, I don't think.
Certainly
Um,
none from the ACC.
yeah, they're going to make it in over Miami, right?
Yeah.
So, I was thinking, Rufus, maybe we should save the sports law professor until next week. We can just keep going on our podcast here if people are enjoying hearing us ruminate.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
Because we were arguing about when we would actually record tomorrow.
I know I have. I'm starting with this sort of like therapist coach person tomorrow morning.
And she wants you to be in the right frame of mind.
He, yeah,
He wants you to be in
it's
the right.
by
Oh,
far
that
the
was
most like
very
ridiculously
gender
expensive thing
assumptive
I've
of
ever
me.
done. But what?
That was very gender assumptive of me. So can we go back to this Ohio State thing? So my point on this, and I think we just came to a point where we think that plus 181 is kind of like a little bit too aggressive. But wouldn't that say to you that there's some value? I know there's overrounds are big, but like wouldn't that say there's some value on other people from a futures perspective?
It, You would think so, but not necessarily given the hold. I think what we should look at is what we care about are two-way markets. And do you want to pull up Novig and see what
Why
those
don't you
futures
pull
are
up
trading
Novig?
at?
Can I use Novig in Arizona?
You can. I cannot use it in Nevada because you can't do anything in Nevada anymore, apparently.
Um,
I'll pull it up.
God, Novig didn't want to doesn't want to buy Novig.com, huh?
Well, Novig.us, baby. You know, they have a desktop app now, app.novig.us, which is really nice because if you're a serious trader, I think it's a lot better to do on a computer than on a phone. So
Okay.
futures, here we go. Your Texas Tech, big favorite to make the playoff. I like that to make the playoff. We
What
have
are they to make the playoffs?
minus 1983 plus 1036. Although there's not a ton of liquidity there, that's a pretty high hold there. I think that's probably not a market that's getting a ton of action. If we go, but Ohio State to win it all, plus 195, yes, plus 225, no. I'm curious what the order book looks like there. So you can get $776 on yes plus 195, 1,000 on yes plus 192, and then the other way, 2250 no minus 225. So not
What
not a,
does it
not a
have for
lot.
Georgia?
So not a lot of liquidity at the top of the book there, but I'm guessing if you bet something there, it's going to repopulate. I would guess this is like Novig's internal trading that is populating this right now. I'm get and they might move on you, but it is a two-way market.
This
I
is
think
fun.
and I'll say like the liquidity on futures on the exchanges is and even like Kalshi just isn't as high just because I don't think there's as much like regular public interest in it. Like let's
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. Like, so
Ohio State is it trading for on Kalshi, it's trading at uh 33.35, right? If you want the yes, you can buy the yes at 35 and
but
sell
isn't
the
this why
no
Novig is
at
so much
30
better than Kalshi?
65.
Because like I'm looking at this Novig stuff and it shows me like the actual money line market, which is much more comprehensible to me than what you're saying with Kalshi.
Yeah, Kalshi, it's a different language. It's
It's
probabilities,
not the
but
language I want to
I
speak.
will say in terms of liquidity on Kalshi, like if you took Ohio State at 35%, you can you can get 6,000 risked, and if you took Ohio State no at 67%, you can only risk $157. So it's just not a lot of liquidity in general there.
I mean, so I'm going to go back to Georgia. Okay. Right now, obviously, they are in line to be one of the top four teams. Now, they're going to probably, if they play, they're going to play in the SEC championship against A&M, right? And what do you have that line against A&M for them? And that will be on a neutral, right?
Georgia and A&M, I'd make Georgia less than half a point favorite.
So I think Georgia is playing much better than they were at the beginning of the year. They've only lost one game, and that game was, they were right in that game to win it. Them at 10-1 right now compared to Iowa State at 2-1 is seems insane to me.
Yeah, but they're just a substantially worse football team. That's and,
Well,
and you talk
like
about them losing one
again,
game, but I mean, they have a few, like they were very lucky to beat Tennessee also.
But that was early in the year. What I'm saying to you is my belief is that they are a much better team now than they were at the beginning of the year.
Hmm.
And this is like that classic case of like how do you adjust things and like like if they are really that much better, can you get value right now, some alpha on Georgia because their ratings, which you have season long, like they're outplaying their ratings, and I expect
Well,
them.
no, but I'm waiting. We weight more recent performance more heavily. But to your point, like, I mean, look at the schedule they played too. I mean, it was Tennessee, Alabama, Kentucky, Auburn, Ole Miss, Florida, Mississippi State, Texas. Like that is, you compare that to Ohio State's schedule, like which is Rutgers, Wisconsin, Illinois, Penn State. Who am I
Do
missing
you
here?
think do you think that there's any way to quantify whether playing a harder schedule is, makes you better, essentially makes you improve, right? Like it's got to, right? Like just like intuitively from, you said you were a college athlete when you were racing against much better players or whatever you call them, sailors. Did that make you a better sailor?
I think practicing against them made me better, but I think I don't know, I think it was more demoralizing than anything. Like, I don't know, I think it was more confidence building if I won. So, like, when I believe it or not, Jeff, I did win some regattas. They were sort of lesser events, not the top events of the weekend. And so when I did that, like, I mean, that really boosted my confidence a lot.
Well,
But then
but do you agree that like you don't think that there's something to that potentially?
I think there is. I think there could be. I think, though, you could also argue that they're going to be more beat up playing more close games, and that's going to be a little more draining. The starters are playing more minutes. Ohio State, when you're up 34 nothing on Wisconsin, you can kind of take it easy and rest some guys.
Well, couldn't you do something simple as just do a correlation of like strength of schedule as a feature in a model and just see like how much, obviously there's a lot of like confoundings in that probably because
Mhm.
they use strength of schedule to determine like who makes it also. So,
I mean, I will say that just having looked at it in terms of modeling, I don't know if I specifically looked at strength of schedule to say, okay, is this team, given the same rating, if they played a tougher schedule, are they can be better going forward? I didn't look specifically at that. But another kind of related question, which this guy I'm training as a trader actually asked me, is is winning important? Like if you have two teams with the same, they're the same
right.
rating in the sense that they're, if you're looking at yards per play or whatever you're using,
Yeah.
EPA, even score differential, whatever. Does a team that's actually won games like closer games versus a team that's sort of lost closer games, like is there any boost there?
Wouldn't you say it's kind of
Confidence.
probably the opposite? Meaning like because of the market probably values winning a lot more than it should be valued.
Yeah, but I'm saying actually in terms of building a rating system, should I be considering whether a team won or not? And you know what? Like nowhere in my model for college football is wins.
I mean, it shouldn't be, right?
No, unless you think that there's some sort of confidence aspect.
I
But
have a
and I
question.
will say in the NFL though, I think it does like at the end of the season, especially knowing that a team is out of it, like teams that have bad records tend to kind of underplay their rating a little bit, underperform their rating a little bit. And I think it probably is something to do with motivation. I mean, look, in Major League Baseball, you sort of see it in the dog days of summer in August. A team that would have been a plus 180 underdog is suddenly a plus 230 underdog. And with the same players, it's kind of, there's a certain point where there's sort of mental fatigue, I think, if you're losing.
So you're on a college football heater, right?
Well,
Generally, and,
I think that's the name of the program or the
right,
segment, right?
right.
The process college football heater, even if it wasn't on a heater. But
But
I think
this
it is on
season
a heater this
you've
year.
done well on sides, you said, right?
Yes.
What do you attribute that to? Because like I feel like
Wearing my lucky ball cap.
is there anything that you've done differently this year?
Not from last year, really. I mean, there's more like up front, there's put effort in figuring out the transfer portal and stuff like that. But Massey Peabody's also always kind of done better later in the season, which I think is this. I think it comes from relying on priors later in the season more than most. I think most people say after 10 games, we don't care what, how well you were, how good you were supposed to be. And I talked about this last week with, I think it was last week with the Penn State pick, or no,
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, Penn State, Indiana.
No, like it was last week.
It was last week.
You
Okay.
took Penn State. You took
Yeah.
Penn State over Michigan State, and that was kind
Yes.
of a little bit of a lucky cover, meaning like they were. It was a dogfight the whole game, and then they pulled away at the end.
But I think the week before they played Indiana and they
Yeah, but
were
you didn't. You
14
didn't.
and a
You
half
didn't
point
play that
underdog.
one.
Okay, I didn't. But
But I talked about this. You did
I did
talk
know
about
about the
this, right?
process.
And I think it was a really good analysis, although very simple, right? And your analysis was essentially if these two teams had played, at the beginning of the season, the line would have been about 25 points different at least, right? Which is crazy to think about that much of a change in a season where there hasn't been, a catastrophic injury or
They
anything.
lost their starting quarterback, but a lot of people thought he kind of was not very good anyway.
Right. I mean,
Way overrated, Aller.
I guess in college there probably isn't again, like part of the 2 weeks ago I took Nebraska with their new quarterback, not Raiola, because that line I thought moved way too much against UCLA and they won outright. So
I mean, UCLA has just been such an interesting team in terms of like they were like so bad. They fired Deshaun Foster, and then they go beat Penn State. And what was the game after that? They played well, but I mean, and last week, I'm not going to even try to pronounce their quarterback's name. The guy that was at Tennessee
Nico,
last year. Yeah, okay,
just
Nico.
Nico.
Yeah. I mean, they feel without him, they were bad last week, and we actually had Ohio State, so that was nice. But they've just like they've had some crazy upset wins, and they've been really bad at times too. It feels like they're kind of a vibes team.
Okay. You want to do a trip through college?
We can do a trip through college.
Do you, one thing on this college football heater, do you think that we're moving lines? Or do you think it's like what, like, because like we're getting a ton of CLV on these. And, I assume that when you tell us these, you've already bet them.
Correct.
So you're not moving them based on your betting. It's us.
Well, like we already bet the Florida one, and it moved some already, right? We bet plus 17, plus 16 and a
Yeah,
half.
yeah. But I'm saying like 15 to 10 and a half is a pretty significant move.
I mean, we're not moving huge volume in college football. We're
No,
trying to
but
make
you understand
50,000
what I'm
buy
saying? Like,
Yeah, it
it's
is.
not your betting that's moving them. I know
Okay,
when you bet things, you
that
move them.
Florida game was not the Florida game was not moving all the way down to 10 and a half because of the bet the process pick.
Are you
I think
sure?
I can be pretty confident about that.
Well, what about when I release it on Tony Kornheiser's show?
Maybe that's it. I don't
That
know.
reaches like 7 plus 5 people. So, I mean, a lot of people actually do listen to the Tony Kornheiser show. I'm at
I've
this.
also I've also been giving picks out on games with like real teams playing rather than, Akron against Bowling Green last night, which by the way, I was on the wrong side of CLV there.
Okay.
I had an offer matched at 59 cents and then it steamed down and it closed at like 56, 57. But
Okay.
okay, so let's get to it for this week.
Give the people what they want. You got anything in tonight's games? Not that it matters. I'm just more like degenerating.
Okay, tonight's games I have, where is it? I think I have Miami of Ohio.
Minus 2.5.
Although no, we bet it at plus 1.5, so it's
Mm.
although it's pretty marginal, minus 2.5.
Okay.
Let's find
Uh,
some bigger games.
yeah, get us some bigger games.
Okay, we're gonna go with Oregon at
Or
home against
do
USC. They're at the moment
Oh, you're so
laying nine.
anti-USC. You're always anti-USC.
We laid 9.5, and it's currently -9. So you're getting a bargain there.
Okay, like that.
Yeah, big bargain. We are. I want to find another really, I want to find a good game.
Give 3 games again. That's fun.
Okay, I'll do that. I also want to make sure which we didn't get, like we didn't get full fills on everything. Um,
Well, maybe you should release the other side and see if you can get a fill.
that's a great idea. By the way, one game that I'm not playing that my numbers do like is Georgia, and that's 44 at the moment. But Georgia is, I think, more than any other team, like merciful.
Interesting.
If you look historically under Kirby Smart in these types of games, like I mean, I think my numbers say they should be a 54-point favorite, but at that point it kind of comes down to how much mercy they're going to show when they have a big lead. And Georgia has always been a very merciful team. So
They're benevolent. The
um,
dogs.
okay, I'm gonna give. Well, here's a big game. Actually, no, it isn't. I was gonna say Missouri against Oklahoma. We took Missouri +9, but that is okay. Never mind. That's +7. I'd be less interested at +7.
Then you were at +9.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Okay, Duke. We're gonna go Duke against North Carolina. We're gonna go. North Carolina's a team I've been on at times and I've been against at times, and I'm against them again here. Duke -6.5.
One more for the kids?
That's not like a marquee game or anything by any
No,
stretch of
it's
the
not bad
imagination.
though. I mean,
But
Belichick's
but
involved.
Bill Belichick, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Bill Belichick. I've heard of him.
and the last one to give is Ohio State -31.5 against Rutgers.
Ooh. We just spent the whole time bashing Ohio State and now we're
But I
betting.
said they're really good, and they are. But do they? I guess the question is, do they still have the motivation to really blow a team out here? Um, they haven't had any marquee wins because they haven't played anybody good. Do they need to? I mean, you're saying that no matter what, basically, they're in the college football playoff, and I think you're right.
I mean, if they lose to Rutgers, they're probably not going to, but
Correct.
so
But look, my numbers like Ohio State. I'm taking Ohio State. I don't think motivation works against them there.
yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other passing thoughts? Well, we're gonna have Gabe Feldman on next week, so we'll try to record early in the week next week, so you guys all have that, and we'll have him on next week.
I'm gonna try to get next week. I'm also gonna try to actually get stuff if I have time set up for so we can talk a little more intelligently about college football futures.
Okay,
Or at least I can give a little more of a data-backed opinion.
that would be helpful, considering this is a show which is supposed to be very data
It's
driven.
true. I just wasn't told that we were going to be discussing college football futures this week.
What did you think we were going to talk about?
I don't know. We were going to talk
You,
about.
you knew we were going to be doing the bet the process heater again.
This is true.
Okay. Well, thanks for listening this week, guys. And like I said, next week we'll be on with the Gabe Feldman, hopefully, and we'll talk to you guys all again next week.
And we also have some really exciting guests lined up for December, but I'm not gonna give them away yet. But we have two that are in the works.
Bet the process.